Welcome, dear viewers, to Couch Warrior TV on YouTube. I'm the Couch Warrior, and you are watching The Passage, Skyrim SE Let's Play, featuring Ettient Jorel, the Altmer Ranger. Alright, so, we built an extra big fire last night. We got a good night's sleep. And now we are off. We have managed to escort an old nobleman back here to Falkreath, and we managed to do it without killing him ourselves, which is something of an accomplishment for Ettient, I think, under the circumstances. That was pretty frustrating, but satisfying to have completed that. But now we've got to move on to the next mission at hand, which is we need to fulfill our promise to Elisif the Fair and deliver Toryg's Warhorn to the Shrine of Talos. And it is not a nice day for travel. Not at all. Now, one of the things that is going to impact our route today is our experience of the previous day going through Helgen, seeing it ruined, catching a glimpse of a dragon. That is something that is pretty staggering, to be honest. That's not the sort of thing that you see every day. And the current state of Helgen, as Ettient is considering it right now, spells trouble. You know, a place like Helgen that was obviously a thriving village once that's now been reduced to rubble is going to be like a magnet for looters. So we are going to avoid the roadway today, and we're going to bypass Helgen. So we're going to get up into the hills where we're more comfortable, and we're going to get around Helgen and approach the Whiterun area without having to go directly through it. That is a bit of a challenge from here if what we're planning to do is stay off the roads as well, just because the mountains are pretty steep here. But our man Ettient is up to the challenge, certainly. So he's become a pretty accomplished rock climber at this point. And I think it's worth noting, This has come up in the comments recently. I'm using a mod. I don't recall the name of it, but it should be relatively easy to find. It basically improves Ettient's jump height. It's 150% jump height improvement. So half again as high as normally he would be able to jump. And this is something that I implemented not from the beginning of the Let's Play, but when we got further in. So when we got to around level 10 or 12, I implemented this. And I implemented it at that time as a sign of the continuing growth in his strength. Having been imprisoned for several years by the Thalmor, and then thrown back in the wilderness, he started out in sort of a weakened physical condition, and he's been getting stronger and stronger and stronger all the time, and he has yet to peak, but he's very strong at this point. So I implemented that around level 12 as a way to kind of represent his increasing strength. I will also tell you that if you want to play a character like this, it's damn near essential to try to come up with something that gives you a slight edge on the jumping, because really that is the mechanism you need to use to climb these rock faces. The jump is super important. So go out there, check it out. There's more than one mod out there that will help you in this particular area. So with the jump height. So investigate what's out there, see what works for you. But what it does is it not only improves the jump height, but as a result, the hang time. And sometimes it's that hang time is what you really need in order to navigate some of these tricky areas, right? And a lot of times the technique sort of involves chaining together a series of quick jumps to get through an area that would normally be difficult. See here, I'm chaining together some quick jumps. That's what's getting me through here, so. All right. We better make sure we've got our instinct rolling here. Very easy to forget that, and it's extremely essential. Okay, so we'll probably parallel the road here, because I think that's the general direction we want to go. Oh, shit. Run, run. Bandits. Wasn't exactly being careful, was I? Well, one of the things that we have here is a benefit is Etienne's wind, his continuing stamina. This investment in stamina is really critical. Man, they're still coming. Wow, they're kind of tough, too. So there are several things that I've done to kind of represent his growth. And this is a game mechanic that... Jeez. No, I'm not ready to die today. Wow, he's persistent. Luckily, Etienne is faster. Let's see how persistent he's going to be. You really want to follow me into the blizzard? Is that what we're going to do? All right. All right, let's do this. I'll play the game. Let's do it. The others following too? I thought they dropped off. Oh, this is brutal up here. So as I was mentioning before, one of the things obviously we have with this game, it's a mechanic, right? It's something we deal with, is the idea that we start weak and we grow over time. And I think one of the interesting things to do is kind of figure out new and interesting ways to explain that growth. Especially when you're creating a character who has, you know, like Etienne, right? He's obviously an elf with a long lifespan. He's lived. He's accomplished things. So how is it that he can come to Skyrim and suddenly be like a babe in the woods, right? Well, we've explained it here in this Let's Play by the fact that he's just simply in a weakened state, and his skills are in kind of an unpracticed status because he's been imprisoned for 3 years. Look at, he's got Marauder armor. Yeah, it's the mercenary armor, excuse me. Take our arrows back. Okay, we are well off the beaten path now. Well, it looks like the other two bandits were not as persistent as their fellow, or perhaps not as brave. Cave. Looks like somebody was camped here. The bedroll is cold, the fire is cold. Maybe a hunter? There's blood, but not fresh blood. And no tracks. This is an old camp. Why would you cook tundra cotton? Okay, I'm not taking any of that stuff. Not at this point. I mean, the camp is obviously abandoned. It's quite likely that whoever was camped out here actually has gone inside. Were the bandits back? Holy... Ow! Alright. This... I'm actually really surprised. I thought these guys were gone for good. Alright. This is a little concerning. So I don't have anything to resist magic or resist shock damage specifically. But we can fortify our health. And we can crank out some minor healing. We can take our marksman, which will help our dagger damage. I'm thinking what I'm going to do here is we'll increase our light armor skill. And we're going to charge this guy. And we're going to mess up his magicka regen big time. I think the best way to deal with him is, since he's a ranged weapon guy, we want to get up. We want to get up in his face. Yeah. Holy crap. I thought he had abandoned the chase. Well, we better be careful because there was another one out there. There's the trail there. It's not exactly an easy climb. I mean, it's a pretty easy climb for Ettient, but he's an experienced climber. Plus, he's got the added advantage of, I mean, look at his height. I mean, think of his wingspan, his ability to reach makes him, I think, potentially a great rock climber. Plus, he's obviously got a lot of upper body strength, which would help. Alright, I don't see the last one, but we're going higher. We're leaving a trail that's going to be easy to follow, even for a lousy tracker. But if we get up in the rocks, we're not going to leave a trail in the rocks. So we'll traverse an area over rocks here to kind of mess with the tracks a little bit. And there's a cairn. So rock hopping is going to help us. Still leaving prints there anyway. Okay, that ought to be enough of a pause in the trail to throw off anybody who might be trying to follow us. Oh, what's this? Wow, this is brutal up in here. Somebody there. Oh. Well, she's no dummy. She sees us. Hey there.
Name's Anji, and if you try anything stupid, I won't hesitate to put an arrow in your head.
Well, I don't doubt that. I don't have any bad intentions.
Name's Anji, and if you try anything stupid, I won't hesitate to put an arrow in your head.
All right. Hey, don't worry. I'm not here to hurt anybody.
Sorry, a girl can't be too careful out here. Like I said, name's Anji, and I've been living out here for a couple of years now.
Why live out here all by yourself?
I moved here from Helgen after my family was killed. At the time, I couldn't stand to be around anyone. They all felt sorry for me, and I didn't want them to. It was my problem, not theirs.
Okay. She doesn't want anybody to feel sorry for her, so the last thing Etienne's going to do is say he's sorry about her family. Who killed your family?
2 Imperial drunks who thought they were above the law.
You want me to take care of them?
Already did. Part of the reason I'm living out here now. Thanks for offering, though.
What are those targets for?
I set up those targets a long time ago. I shoot at them from time to time. Don't want to get rusty with my bow.
Are you any good with your bow?
That I am. You know how to use one?
No, not really.
Well, let me know if you ever want to practice. If you need a bow, there's one on the rack to the left of the door. Let's see if I can teach you a few things about using a bow.
Sturdy. Not elegant, but certainly sturdy. Wow. She lives up here in the frozen north, all by herself, in a shack that's needs some work, to be honest.
Looking to practice, stranger?
All right. Fair is fair.
Looking to practice, stranger?
We'll let her see our face. Yeah. Show me what you know.
Excellent. Follow me to the targets and we'll begin.
Etienne's pretty good with a bow, but she doesn't need to know that.
My father was rarely home, so it was my mother who actually taught me how to use a bow.
And I will tell you that Etienne is intrigued with Angie. She's interesting to him.
She always said composure was the key to a successful archer. If you can remain calm, even in the midst of chaos, your arrow will most likely find its target.
Go on.
Okay, let's see what you can do. Remember to stay within the boundaries and only use the practice arrows. I have some if you don't have any. Aim for the middle target.
Okay. So we got to use the practice arrows for this to work. That's fine. Let's do it.
Nice shot, right on target. Now hit the target to the left.
Oh. Okay.
Great shot. Now hit the target to the right. Hey! Nice shot. Right on target. Let me know if you want to practice some more. Next time we'll make it a little more challenging.
Hey.
I
have some more time now.
Excellent. Follow me to the targets and we'll begin.
At this point, I mean, Ettient knows how to do all this stuff, but the practicing is about wanting to hear her talk more.
At the time, it was difficult to keep food on the table, let alone have enough left over to sell at the market.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever we came across more than one deer in a single location, it was imperative we kill as many as we could. If you can learn to keep your composure and trust that each shot is true, then you should be able to quickly handle multiple targets.
Okay. Excellent advice.
When I tell you to, try and hit each of the 3 closest targets in 8 seconds.
8 seconds. I don't know. Let's see what we can do.
I'll count to 3 and then say
Start
go.
left.
You have 8
Work our
seconds
way
to
right.
hit each of the 3 targets. Draw string and get ready. 1, 2, 3. Go! Be careful.
Be careful, you sound like someone I know.
You did it!
Hey.
All 3 targets in 8 seconds. Nice job.
Thanks.
Let me know if you want to practice some more.
Hey.
Next time we'll make it a little more
Yeah,
challenging.
I mean, about that. Hey.
Great job hitting those targets. You definitely surprised me with your speed and composure.
Well, that's what they call me, Ettient the Composed. How about a little bit more practice?
Excellent. Follow me to the targets and we'll begin.
Yeah.
We've talked about speed and composure. Now we'll go over precision.
I sort of like the idea that Ettient knows about this stuff, but he's not really saying it. He's more interested in spending time with her.
However, with such a long shot, it's more than likely that's the only shot you'll be able to take before your prey runs off.
Okay.
If you find yourself in such a situation, then you need to make your shot count.
Right.
Don't rush your shot. Crouch down, get comfortable, and take aim.
Right.
Okay, your turn. Try and hit the target way in the back, far behind the other 3. Remember to take your time and make your shot count.
All right, this is pretty hard. I don't do a lot of long shooting, so...
Nice shot, right on target.
Great.
Let me know if you want to practice some more. Next time we'll make it a little more challenging.
All right. So she's up here alone. She likes to spend time alone in the wilderness. She has a checkered past, is wanted by the law, is good with a bow. Sound like anyone else we know? So Ettient is definitely interested in Angie. I don't know if she's interested in him, but he would definitely immediately recognize her as kind of a kindred spirit in a way. And given what we know of him and some of the things that have happened recently, it's actually easy to see that he could find himself attracted to a Nord woman, for sure. I'm going to have a look around her place here. She doesn't seem to mind, so... If I had more time, I'd help her with this roof. This is terrible. But it looks like she's working on it herself and slowly fixing it up. Ooh, look at this book. Ah. Another level in archery. Gold Ribbon of Merit. Well, she certainly doesn't need anybody's help, that's for sure. However, that doesn't necessarily mean we can't show gratitude. So we're going to say thank you to Angie. By leaving her some things that might be useful to her. It doesn't sound like she gets to town very often under the circumstances. So, we'll leave her some upgraded mercenary armor for protection. And we will leave her a hot meal, right? And I don't know what else we got that might be useful to her. How about a nice leg of roast goat? She seems like a woman who would appreciate a leg of mutton. So, there you go. Hey, you don't mind if I, borrow this, right? Got anything we can convert here? Or are we all caught up? I think we're caught up. We did so much work before. It's hard to imagine there's anything left for us to create. So, hey.
What do you want, little elf?
I think I'm ready for that, that last challenge.
Excellent. Follow me to the targets and we'll begin.
All right.
We've talked about composure, speed, and precision. Now it's time to use all three at once.
Okay. So, what are we doing?
I'm warning you now. This challenge will be quite difficult.
All right.
Just remember everything I've taught you, and you should be able to complete it. It may take you a couple of tries, but that's what practice is all about.
She's good.
When I tell you to, try and hit all 4 targets in 10 seconds.
All right.
Here, take these. Looks like you're running low.
Yeah, I'm running out of practice arrows.
I'll count to 3 and then say go.
Okay, I think
You have 10 seconds to hit each of the 4 targets.
10
Draw
seconds.
string and get ready.
We're going to take the far target first.
1, 2, 3. Go! Hey, watch it! did it. All 4 targets in 10 seconds. Nice job.
Hey, thanks. Wow, look at that. That's a lot of levels in archery. We needed that. Well, yeah, Angie's definitely cut from the same cloth that Etienne is, so I think they would definitely share some sort of a bond. Interesting that it's fairly timely. There was an fairly extensive discussion in the comments of a recent episode that took place last night regarding whether or not Etienne would ever have a companion. And I guess I would summarize my response on that by saying that Etienne, by normal standards, by most people's standards, is going to be a pretty difficult guy to get to know, to get close to, and probably somewhat difficult to love. I think that's not necessarily because he's a bad guy, because at heart I don't think that he is. I think he's complicated. But I think that it would take a very special person because Etienne is a solitary person. He's a person who seeks isolation, and I just don't think that he's probably good marriage material. But if he found a person who was confident enough, independent enough, and secure enough in themselves that they could love him and then be able to handle those times when he disappears for long stretches and then comes back, and be confident enough in their relationship with him to not lose it over that kind of thing, it might work. I don't think he would marry. I don't think that he would be interested in children, but I think he would be interested in companionship under the right circumstances. And as I think about it, Angie is probably the one person I can think of in vanilla Skyrim who might be best equipped to handle a personality like Etienne and to kind of understand him, because she's in a similar situation. So, well, Angie is not a marriageable character. I don't see Etienne as being a marriageable personality. But I do see the possibility that Angie would be an individual that he would want to spend time with and would come back to see her on a very regular basis. So, yeah. I think that's really cool. Because when you think about their situations and how similar they are, it's almost ironic. It's not something that I had thought about until recently. But her story is pretty interesting.
Speak, elf.
Mm-hmm. And I like how she's gruff with him and stuff. I think he would respond to that, so.
I think I've taught you everything I know. You might even be as good as me now.
Maybe.
Kind of scary if I think about it.
All right. Thanks for helping me out.
It was my pleasure. It's not often I get visitors out here, let alone friendly ones. Thanks for sticking around and keeping me company. It was nice to finally meet someone out here who doesn't want to rob you or take off your head. I know it isn't much, but here, take this bow. It was given to me by my family. It's special to me, but brings back too many painful memories.
Okay. Again, we're not going to offer condolences about her family because
remember, composure and speed.
That seems to be a wound.
You don't need to see your arrow hit before moving on to your next target.
That we don't want to open.
Trust your shot is true.
Etienne would be the same way. What we understand of him so far, it's reasonable to think that there's certain things he simply wouldn't want to talk about to anybody. And Angie seems to be the same way, so he would understand and respect that. She's going to eat her meal. All right, well, it's getting on towards darkness. I don't think Angie would mind if we set up a camp here for the night, right? Can we do that here or not? Is it red because I'm not allowed to? Probably, because this, I bet, is... This is a space where there's too much activity going on from a quest perspective. So let's cancel the placement there. We'll find a spot here to set up that... Maybe we can set up here, huh? More likely down here. A respectful distance from her house. She obviously still doesn't really know us, so Ettient doesn't want to do anything scary or untoward. So, but it makes sense for us to camp in this area for the night at least. This is good. A little winter camping. Okay, this will work. All right, let us go. Let's go ahead and build a fire too. We'll do the whole deal here. So from a roleplay perspective, I'll just say that where for Ettient anyway, Angie represents for him a love interest, someone that he might look to for companionship. So visiting Angie is something that he's going to do occasionally. And the way that I'm viewing that relationship is just kind of like I had described previously. They both seem like people who aren't really looking for long-term and formalized attachments, but they perhaps enjoy each other's company because they have such similar interests and things like that. All right, let's gather some more wood. It's cold up here, so we're gonna make a little bit bigger fire than normal, I think. But we need to gather some additional wood. So I think one of the things that's interesting about that, though, is that I actually kind of like the fact that she is not a marriageable character. It's possible that a person might be able to use a mod of some kind to make her that way, but it's really not necessary because I don't see a marriage-type relationship is what Ettient is looking for. I don't think that would be appealing to him. And honestly, given what we understand of Angie's personality, I don't think that's what she would be looking for either. I think the companionship is enough. So from a game roleplay perspective, I think the way that we would portray that is Ettient is going to come back and visit her on a regular basis, and when he does, he's going to try to bring things up here that might be helpful to her. So I think that's kind of interesting. And then we'll see, as time goes on and other mods come out and stuff like that, maybe there will be other things that we can do to help enhance that relationship in certain ways. All right, we just made some potato soup, so let's eat it while it's hot. And let's get some rest. Okay. What time is it here? So, 8:30 p.m. That ought to do. Here he is. There's our guy. Time to get up, buddy. Do this. Time to pack it up. Well, she provided us with a lot of interesting training and insight. The fact is that she taught us a lot. Even though Etienne was goofing a little bit, you can't ignore the fact that she taught us things that allowed us to go up quite a number of levels. I think 6 levels, not including the book in her cabin. So she knows what she's talking about, and Etienne learned a lot. Even though during the practice sessions he was paying more attention to listening to her talk than what she was saying. But that's okay.
Speak, elf.
Hey, heading out.
Aye.
All right.
Remember, composure and speed. You don't need to see your arrow hit before moving on to your next target. Trust your shot is true.
Okay. So we still have these practice arrows. Make sure we got the right ones selected. Okay, so she's offered us some training. We got to stay up here for the night, which was convenient. And in exchange, we provided her with some pretty nice armor and a hot meal. Least we could do. So, but this is good, so we can kind of see what she's up against up here. So next time we get up here, we could bring some key items that might be helpful. All right, off we go. All right. So that was a distraction, a delay in the plan. But from Etienne's perspective, a worthwhile and pleasant one. So on the way out, let's make an inspection of her defenses. Help her out a little bit. She's pretty smart. She's got traps set out and everything, so she's, I think, defending her area as best she can, being solo. I also think it's interesting, too, that, you know, she doesn't wear any heavy armor or cloaks or furs or anything like that, which further accentuates the differences between them racially. The fact that, you know, she's a Nord and has more resistance to the cold than Etienne does, I think is interesting. It illustrates her toughness. You know, just beyond the fact that she's living in isolation. I mean, that takes a certain amount of toughness right there, but the fact that she's doing it in the bitter cold and seemingly doing it with ease is pretty cool. Plus, I also like the dichotomy that we're starting to see in our story. The dichotomy of the High Elf, who is starting to see the possibility a life for himself in the native land of really the Nords, who have have a long history of animosity and warfare with the High Elves, and his continuing interest in their culture and in Talos, and now potentially the companionship of a Nord woman. I think to some degree we see him sort of going native, if you will, finding a lot of things to appreciate here, and the possibility of maybe wanting to stop running for once in his life and settle in this most unlikely of places. Well, I want to thank you all for following along in Etienne's journey, all the twists and turns. There is much more adventuring to come, and a lot more interesting, I think, character developments to be seen. So I will see you next time.